First Communicants, boys and girls, I am so sorry we cannot be together this evening to continue to prepare for First Communion. It's probably one of my favorite things that I do in the springtime is to work with our second graders and those who are preparing for First Communion. Today, your parents, your mom and dad will be receiving an email that will have some of the activities that you need to complete that we would have been doing at our meeting this evening. And it includes activities and readings from our Blessed book, which should look very familiar because you should already have this at home. I wanted to go through just a few quick things with you, including finishing the 2 charts that are in the front of your book. Out your Blessed book and a pencil, and you can pause as you go find your Blessed book and a pencil. We will go ahead and complete those 2 charts on the inside cover of your Blessed book. And so I will share the screen so you can see these words. Let's start with Jesus is in. Oh, there we go. So Jesus, as we know, Jesus is in all of us. Oh, it does not want to type. Hello? Hello, Microsoft Word. Ah, there we go. Jesus is in us. We also know that Jesus is in the Word. Some of you may have written here the word Bible. Miss Becky is not a good typer, so you'll have to put up with me. Because Jesus is in the Word. He is in the Bible. And when we talk about the Word, we talk about those readings that are read to us at the Mass. In those readings, Jesus is present. Jesus is also present in the bread and wine, which becomes what? The body and blood of Christ. Very good. And last but not least, the one you get to learn about tonight is Jesus is in the priest. In a very special way, it's called in persona Christi. Jesus is our Christ representative. That's what in persona Christi means. He is in the person of Christ. And we know this in a special way because of all those special clothes that he wears. He puts them on before Mass or before any liturgy. You will see him put certain pieces of clothing on. And in your email notes, there is a document attached that's a coloring page for you that explains the names of all the different pieces of clothing that the priest wears. Now, on your other chart, let's finish the parts of the Mass. We know we have the introductory rites, a fancy way for saying the stuff at the front of the Mass, the stuff at the beginning of the Mass, right? We have those wonderful introductory rites, which we stand during the introductory rites, and we know when they're over when we sit down because we are getting ready then to listen to the Word of God. And so we have the liturgy of the Word. This is when we hear the readings from the Bible, from the Old Testament, from the New Testament, and from the Gospels. Most specifically, the stories from the Gospels are read by our priest or our deacon during the Mass. After the liturgy of the Word is over, we begin the liturgy of the Eucharist, which was, I need to spell it correctly, which is the very last thing that we spoke about at our last meeting, the liturgy of the Eucharist. This would be the time that the priest prays over the bread and the wine, and when the consecration occurs, that the bread and the wine become the body and blood of Christ. It is also during the liturgy of the Eucharist that we actually go forward and receive the body and blood of Christ. Once that is all over, we have the final last part of the Mass, which is the concluding rites. These are the things that happen at the end of Mass. Usually what happens is the priest does bless us, does a final prayer and blesses us, and sends us on our way. But that doesn't mean that the Mass is over. Actually, the Mass continues almost afterwards because they send us out to proclaim to others the good news of Jesus Christ. We have jobs after the Mass. It doesn't just end there. And that's part of what you're going to learn a little bit about tonight. Tomorrow, when you go through the lesson that I sent to your parents, you will find out the Mass ends, but what do you do now? Because it really doesn't end. That's where our job begins. In addition, I will send you a link to one of the episodes of our Blessed book. which I know you enjoy the episodes with Sarah, Ben, and Hemingway. And there's one episode I want you to watch, but now that you have a link to these episodes, you will see that all of these episodes are online. So you can now watch them to your heart's content in all your spare time while you're at home. There are all the videos for First Reconciliation as well as First Communion are available online. And there is one question that I would like for you to answer with your parents, and that's also in the email to them, which is, what amazing things do you think God will do through you? God likes to use all of us in special ways to bring special things to special people, to serve others in our life, and to serve God. So I just wonder, what do you think God will do through you? And what good things are you destined for and to do in the coming days, in the coming weeks, and even in the coming years of your life? You have so much time ahead of you, and God knows that there's a great and wonderful journey out there for you. And part of that is the reception or receiving your first communion. And I look forward to talking to all of you soon. Everyone here at St. John Neumann, we all miss you all very, very dearly, and we're praying for all of you. Until next time, see you later. Bye now.